Okay, the first thing in this PowerPoint for London is that you are going to try and recall the three key quotations for Sonnet 43 to try and remember what you have previously learnt. You learnt them with the three key words of depth, griefs, and better. Try and recall what the full quotation for each of those is, and even better, try and say what it means and how you would link it into the story, the 5 W's of Sonnet 43. Blake's often referred to as a social reformer. He was shocked by the degree of poverty which he saw on London streets, and he wanted to open up the eyes of the rich to make them realise what was going on in order to do something about it, to help the poor out. Georgian England was a very different place to what England is now. You can see by these pictures that life for the poor was exceptionally difficult. I would recommend reading up on what exactly life was like for them, and there's a great link at the bottom of this slide from the British Library which describes what life was like for poor people in Georgian Britain. I wander through each charted street near where the charted Thames does flow, and mark in every face I meet marks of weakness, marks of woe. In every cry of every man, in every infant's cry of fear, in every voice, in every ban, the mind-forged manacles I hear. How the chimney sweepers cry, every blackening church appalls, and the hapless soldier's sigh runs in blood down palace walls. But most through midnight streets I hear how the youthful harlot's curse blasts the newborn infant's tear, and blights with plagues the marriage hearse. Blake wants change. He takes what he saw on the streets of London, the poor, and how they're suffering, how they're trapped in a life which exploits them, and how they have no chance to better themselves, and he uses it as a stimulus for his poetry. He's saying that the rich, the church, the government, they're not helping, and at worst they are black with sin and guilt and hypocritical. Blake repeats a couple of ideas throughout the poem, one of which is the marks which he sees. He says these marks are signs of poverty on the poor. They are probably going to be thin, hungry, starving, and it's also going to make them really, really sad and really depressed that they are stuck in a life they can't get out of. The other thing he repeats is the cries. He finds himself surrounded by sounds of sadness. Secondly, the mind-forged manacles refers to the chains which bind the poor. Obviously, these are not literal chains, but he says that the poor are trapped by their existence. They have no chance in order to try and get out. They've got no chance of a decent life. And he blames the church and also the government for the situation that the poor find themselves in. He says that they are black. Now, they're not just black because of the Industrial Revolution, they are black with sin and with guilt. And he's trying to write the poem to make people realise that this sin, this guilt needs to be erased. And the only way you can do that is by helping the poor. Now you've got to the end of this PowerPoint, try and recall those three key quotations from the word marks, manacles, and church. If you can't get it word perfect, that's not too much of a problem, but try and get the general gist, and most importantly, try and explain what it means and how it links into the story, the W's of the poem.